What's up guys? Now Lulu has recently had some changes, and together with the changes to the different support items, I really believe that her skill order and itemization has changed. So what's changed? Well, I'm glad you asked. Lulu's base mana and her base movement speed have both been increased, as well as a couple of changes to her spell kit. Glitter Lance now slows at all ranks, but still decays over 2 seconds, and Whimsy now grants your allies up to 30% bonus attack speed for up to 4 seconds. We've probably all seen Lulu played in 2 different ways, the passive and the P-lane based Lulu, and the aggressive and the poke based one. I myself like to play Lulu aggressively early if I have the option, but otherwise I like to play her peeling and defensive, especially as I reach the late game. So diving straight into her runes, I'd recommend that new players went armor marks, armor seals, magic resistance glyphs, and some ability power or health quintessences. This makes a really well-rounded page for you. Otherwise you can make adjustments for other intentions, such as increasing your auto attack damage for more harass, etc. Masteries are going to stay at 0.21.9 for now. Aggressive players could opt in for the Thunderlords due to the ease of the extra damage with picks, but I tend to opt in for the Windspeaker's Blessing because it suits my playstyle and I like the extra shields. The utility benefits are also just too great to pass up. Now the summoner spells that I choose on Lulu are usually Flash and Exhaust, but you can take Ignite if teams have lots of healing or if you want to go for kills, especially in the early game when you're playing aggressive, but most of the time I like to use Exhaust. I like the fact that you can stop bruises, enemy AD carries in early trades, and much more uses with it. Now skill order is a rather important point in this video as I do believe it's changed. Traditionally, I've always gone for early aggression and poke, thus skill in Q first, and then I moved on to E and went on to W as the last spell, and I still think this could be the right option if you wanted to play aggressively. However, since the patch I've been playing with maxing E first and then moving on to W and then Q, and I've found that I've been a lot stronger mid game, especially once I've finished Ardent Censer, so I guess this sort of means that Lulu's Q is now more of a utility slow rather than going for the damage. Now Lulu's item build can also be adapted depending on whether you're playing aggressive or defensive. You can find more information on item builds in general in my previous video. Despite my suggestions for aggressive Lulu, I believe that Talisman of the Ascension is the right item to go at the moment. Ghost isn't as useful because of the onboard slow that Glitter Lance has, and I much prefer Coin because I feel like it fits into the majority of games. However, my favourite item build is usually similar to the following, as that allows me to focus on protecting the AD carry, whilst improving and maximising their damage potential, and also how much I can keep them alive as well. A good balance is always right, isn't it? So speaking about Lulu's playstyle, it all depends on who's your lane partner and who the enemy bot lane is. So if you're up against engaging supports, you should just play passive, because once they have their skills to control you, you're gonna have to be careful. Playing aggressive against Leona at level 1 though, is something that I would do, but once she reaches 2, you gotta back off and stay off. Speaking about AP poke supports, you should just try and shield your AD carry as much as possible, and just stand in max XP range as you both scale. And more passive supports can be threatened by you, so try and harass them as much as you safely can. Now against AD carries, you're always very squishy, so I'd advise you not to fight them routinely. However, avoid the potential of poke carries by standing behind minions as much as you can. Avoid the engaging AD carries by keeping yourself at a safe range, and save your spells for shields or polymorphing or even exhausting as a follow-up if you have to numb their damage for longer, and you should be able to stay alive. And finally, any AD carries with a gap closer must be greatly respected. Lulu's early game just means throwing out lots of damage and poking when it's safe for me. I try and treat my pick shields almost like I was playing Janna, and I also treat my W the same, especially if I'm standing in a safe position. If the AD carry isn't threatened, use the W to increase his attack speed. Otherwise, using it to polymorph any incoming threats can be pretty smart. Q's good to fend off enemies trying to approach and engage, or even chase down enemies. It's a lot of fun to use this spell, and to be honest, you'd be amazed at its potential to get sneaky hits with your Q. As I progress into mid game, I try and emphasize my position near the AD carry as much as possible. As the map shifts and everybody starts to group up and the game progresses, hopefully I've finished my build and my items and abilities are enough to stop any allies getting mute if that happens, or follow up on engages and maximize the CC on the enemy team. Otherwise, the ultimate it can be used to beef up your tank or save your AD carry as a last resort. Keep using your spells in the fights and keep trying to speed your AD carry up when you're in late game. And of course, all of that is just on top of your general support responsibilities. You've got to be map aware, keep wards down, and so much more. I hope this has rounded Lulu up for you quite quickly. Obviously, I've gone into as much depth as I can within a bite-sized amount of time, but if you have any questions, as always, hit a comment down below or just go away and I'll see you in the next video. Oh, and before I say it, Leona and Sona have just had an update, so stay tuned for more videos on those as I intend to get those done soon. Bye!